I have new items, if you have the coin.
Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to Let's Play Darksiders 2. We're finally going to get around to trading in the first Necronomicon page to Vulgrim. We're going to help him out with his summer reading. So we came back to the first zone of the game, the Forge Lands, and by selling him the chapter, it gives us a key. We'll get a key for each chapter sold. Each chapter corresponds with a specific key, and each key is a specific tomb. Since this is chapter 1 of the book that we just turned in, we get the key for the Death Tomb here in the first area, naturally. The second chapter will give us... This is definitely a place for a horse.
This is no place for a horse.
The second chapter will give us a key to the tomb in the Land of the Dead, and so on. And inside each tomb, you will usually find just a small room with a bunch of chests. Normally these higher level ones like these, there are also a couple extra ones on the sides and the back. This one gives us a skill point just right away. We get a lot of gold from these. There's a weapon rack in here. So we just get showered with free goodies. There's usually also one extra feature of these tombs, which we'll get to in a minute. You'll notice this silvery flame in the back of the room. Once we dispense with the weapon rack, grab some other things. Oh, there's weapon racks on either side. That's awesome. You have more chances to pick up a possessed item. Once we get the second chapter of the Book of the Dead, we can actually get a legendary talisman, which will increase the drop rate of possessed weapons from weapon racks and chests. As crazy as Darksiders 2 tends to go with the collectibles, they at least tend to reward you pretty well for going out of your way to get all of these pain-in-the-ass collectibles. Now with everything else in the tomb out of the way, we're going to move the statue to reveal a legendary talisman, which references our good buddy, that dapper skeleton, Wicked K. And what the Blademaster talisman does, it unlocks every move in the game that you would normally have to buy. Which is great. Now we're going to make our way back on over to Lost Light. I'll see you in a sec. And we are back where we left off last episode in Lost Light. This beautiful autumnal zone that's perpetually in the golden hour. This is an aesthetic that you will kind of loosely recognize from Darksiders 1 when we approached the tree at the end of Darksiders, or near the end, before we started that big collectathon to get all the Abyssal Blade pieces. But you will recognize this as being an angelic aesthetic or a motif. The color palette is reminiscent of that. Eden. And that is because Lost Light is a bastion on the outskirts of heaven. It's an outpost, I think they describe it as. We just want to disturb Vulgrim, who's doing his reading, just so we can unlock that fast travel point. And you'll notice a certain feature at the top of the cliffs. You'll see these blue shimmers if you're not looking dead center of the screen. If you're instead, oh shit, that's really good. Yeah, you'll occasionally see something like that. Finally, one on ground level, teleporting around and leaving a blue trail. That's a new enemy type we'll encounter later on. And are they gonna let me take my horse up to the Spire, or at least into this big obvious arena? We'll get a nice vista from up there in a little bit.
You will save us!
The big Devil May Cry wall locks us into this fight against an enemy type that we have not yet encountered in Darksiders 2, but which were fairly common in DS1. These Hellguard angels, these ones being corrupted variants, though. They have more or less the same moves as they did in Darksiders 1. I don't think they charge you from across the arena as aggressively as those ones did, but they still have their guns, they still have some really strong melee attacks, and they have a giant beam cannon that is just devastating.
By Abaddon's eye, it is. To me, quickly.
All of the important angels in this area are so cool. There are so many, like, they're over-designed as hell, but that is an aesthetic that I am deeply, deeply into. Woo! That's nice, too. I don't know if you've noticed this, but there's something really cool about Death's sides, and it's that that they split apart, and he either dual wields them as two different, almost like Kama, but then sometimes he can also conjoin them together, and it's this double-sided staff scythe. Whew, pretty nice. That always feels so good to do. I'm in a great mood because we're in Lost Light, and the Perpetual Autumn look of this place, I adore. I really, really enjoy the aesthetic of this place. Oh, that's just, I whipped my way through a whole crowd. They apparently did not want none. If only, there we go.
Welcome to Lost Light, Rider. From one warrior to another.
Do I know you?
I am Nathaniel. I fought beside you at the gates of Eden. Would have died were it not for your blades. But I'm not troubled that you don't recall me. Your thoughts that day were on killing Nephilim.
You're of the Hellguard.
I was. But I guard the light now. And the Archon. You'll find both in the Crystal Spire. But something tells me you are not here to glory in my master's radiance.
What gave that away?
The Archon's that way, horseman.
Perhaps I have other business.
If that business takes you to the kingdom of the dead, you would serve the light to deliver this scroll.
What business have you in that land of corpses?
I seek an old friend, a lost soul. Where better to look? Take that scroll to the undead court, that they may answer my question.
I'm looking for a key.
I would guess that what you seek is no simple key. For that, you should consult the Archon. He sees much from the peak of his spire.
How did you come to leave the Hellguard?
Abaddon sent me here to watch over the Crystal Spire and the Archon. There is much at stake should the Spire fall.
What is this place?
An outpost. We call it Lost Light, for what we left behind in the White City. Here, we are closer to darkness.
And who is this Archon?
Lucian is the head of the Scriptorium. Those angels who record all that he sees when he peers into the shadow. The Ivory Citadel holds their records. An archive vast beyond thinking.
Where is this citadel?
Lost beyond the mists. Pray your business never sends you there. Find the one who guards the throne. He will have my answer.
Nathaniel, resident badass of Lost Light. not only helps us on our way, helps us to progress the quest, he's also our vendor for the area. And what we just got, the card that said the Fool, is another tarot card inviting us deeper into the Crucible, the Bloody Palace of Darksiders 2. Oh, and you can see straight through the floor of the elevator if you just jump. Ooh, that's not pretty. And all of the discrete layers of the Crucible are represented by tarot cards. So before we go back towards the area where the chest was just now, we are instead going to go the opposite way around this ring, because there's really no reason to go the other way yet. We have to complete a puzzle before we can progress up the tower any further, because there's a little bit of crystallized corruption back where the chest is. The trick to this is that there's this big gap, and we can't cross that gap while holding a bomb. So this is yet another soul splitter puzzle. This is a neat one because it teaches you to use a mechanic that you may not have thought about being able to use. But if you just experiment a little bit, you'll eventually figure it out. First off, this dude was straggling back here. I think he bounced off the bomb and flew off the side. So we want to pick the bomb up, and what you have to do is play catch with yourself. I need to position my other soul. Yeah, you can toss the bomb to your other self across the gap. And you also need to be careful about the positioning of the statue so that you can both pick the bomb up and send this soul far enough back to nail the crystal. I think that's cool. That's something that I didn't think that you could do up until this point in the game when I first played this. And it teaches you that very organically. Again, so they can build upon that as a system. They don't need a big text box or a tutorial telling you that you can do that. They just give you the tools to work that out. Then up here, we can get a better view across the land and notice all of these floating islands of rock.
Out of the shadows and into the light. I see you, horsemen. The things you have done. The lives you have ended. I know why you are here.
Then you will give me the key.
I have guarded the key for centuries. It is mine, and I will not part with it lightly. Not now. Corruption spreads. In our city. In our hearts. Only I remain pure. A beacon against the darkness. Helpless to push it back.
We are not all helpless, Archon.
Perhaps not. After the seals were broken, and Hell's legions loosed upon the earth, many divine relics were lost. One, the Rod of Arafel, could help reverse what has happened here. I dare not retrieve the rod myself. The gates to the White City are closed to any angel who visits Earth. But you are no angel. Acquire the rod, and I will clear a path into my citadel. There you will find the key to the Tree of Life. As for what you will find on Earth, after you face it, even you may curse the name of war.
So the Archon is cool as hell. The Archon is a proper cherub as well as being just a full Diablo design. Before we head back to Earth for a little while, which is going to function as sort of a dungeon. That was well worth grabbing. And you can tell he's a cherub because he is one of only a few angels in the Darksiders universe that we've seen, or that we know of, to possess 4 wings, 4 feathered wings. And back to the shattered remains of Earth. It's kind of a homecoming. Not for death, but for the player. For us.
Quiet. There are more than corpses about. Uriel, what are the Hellguard doing on Earth? Damn it.
Yeah, this is really cool seeing Uriel and the rest of the Hellguard again in this context. And in less of an antagonistic role than the one she played for War in Darksiders 1. And we find her first under siege by... They're called the Swarm. They are really annoying-ass zombies. Annoying for a reason that's going to become evident in the middle of this fight, I think. For now, they look like they're melting like butter. So they're not that dangerous. But they are really inconvenient to fight. You should see, it looks like we've cleared them out. That gong that you heard is a primary feature of what I'm just gonna call a dungeon of Earth. That gong is always going to precede the arrival of tons of swarm, and the swarm spawn indefinitely. The gong plays at consistent intervals. It's fixed for this fight, so we have to fight a fixed number of waves. But once we have this dungeon opened up to us, once we have a little freedom, they're just going to become a huge fucking nuisance that are constantly spawning in. Also, you'll remember the angel guns from Darksiders 1. They're a little bit more fun to handle here in 2, like most things are. Still not ideal, still not my favorite weapon to use. Just trying to recover a little bit of health with the fist weapons and lifesteal. It wasn't a good plan.
I should kill you for what your brother did here. But you saved my life. Consider us even.
What do you know about the Rod of Arafel?
A weapon of immense power, brought to Earth by the Archon Hestus to battle the demons in the End War. But Hestus fell, and the rod was shattered. Now the Destroyer uses its pieces to fuel his army of darkness.
What was broken can be reformed. Where are the pieces of the rod?
In the hands of the Destroyer. He has summoned creatures from the Abyss and drawn forth his chosen. things of blasphemy, who even now divide this world into their own hellish domains. The Suffering are one such beast. They feed upon the dead of this world, and twist them into a swarm of flesh and bone that fight as one mind. It was they who attacked us moments ago.
One mind, easily sundered.
I will not risk more Helgard to recapture the Rod of Arafel. But, should you wish to undertake this fool's errand, and follow the trail of corpses left by my brethren.
A fool's errand. Well, it would not be my first.
So that it is not your last, take this.
Thanks for the warning. How many angels died here, Hero?
Too many. But for every dead angel there is another, kept alive against his will. Their suffering empowers the Destroyer. Perhaps you could release them from their torment, Pale Rider.
If you wish. However, all I can offer the captives is a swift end.
That is blessing enough.
Why are the Helguards still on Earth? You lost your ill, in case you haven't noticed.
Where else would we go? All of creation saw what happened here. How the Helguard marched before the seals were broken. The White City is closed to us. We can never go home.
What are these chosen? They don't look like demons.
No, they are something far more ancient, drawn from the heart of the Abyss. The most powerful serve the Destroyer, and rule in his name over ash and bone. The rest kill everything around them.
It is a wonder you've lasted this long. Even the dead march against you.
You speak of the Swarm. Of all the creatures that roam the wastes, they most hunger for revenge. Not even death can stop them.
So, the Rod of Arafel is going to be our next MacGuffin that we have to collect the pieces of. We'll do that next time. Thanks for watching, everyone. Take it easy. Have a good one.